Welcome to the Underground Research Institute, plebiscite number 3, and we are back at your ass again. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Now, I have to give a shout out to Max for his response to Sinful. Now, I recorded something about Sinful, I don't know, maybe a month or so ago, and I decided not to release it because I felt like I was going at him a little bit too hard. But when Max decided to go at him, and I saw Kev Gills go at him, it's not that I wanted to be, because actually Sinful has really been kind of an underlying inspiration as a case study. Anytime I speak about the lifestyle of pimping and hoeing, as we know it in the American lexicon. And the reason why that is because Sinful and others represent this namely Snooki. And there are others that are still around and present, but because of their connection and alliance, things have not been revealed about one particular individual. I will not speak of that particular individual. I spent part of an evening in which we were in the same location. And I'll say that for all of you, anyone who's into metaphysics as a belief system, although it's not my belief system, or anyone who is into spirituality, anyone who is, you can say, at a highest level of spirituality in terms of knowledge and practice from any of the known religions, I would say that you would say, if you were around that individual, that you would say that that person has a dark aura, or someone would say that person has demons on them. Whatever. And that has been confirmed by a person, by several people, but a person in my life who is not associated with that lifestyle, but happened to be in the same location in another incident, and he immediately phoned me and told me what he felt about being around that person. Anyway, as I digress, the point of the matter is that we have been inundated with individuals who, for whatever reason, are misrepresenting themselves through this particular genre. Am I saying that that is the case with Sinful? No. I want to look at Sinful as a case study. Like you could look at Snooki as a case study. Like you could look at Pimpin' Ken as a case study. Kiko Marty, case study. Okay? These are interesting individuals. And there are more. Because if I look at Gangsta Brown's story as a case study, it's pretty original. It's pretty authentic. It's pretty organic. If I were to look at Kenny Red's story, the same. If I were to look at Rosebud's story, the same. Now, we can keep on going with these people and these individuals. Gorgeous Dre, you can even say the same. But if we're gonna go in these, use the mid-90s books and documentaries, there's a time when you start to run into people that have shady current behavior or past behavior that raises question marks. For example, if we're gonna go off that era, we could say Snooki and Charm. If you really know who Charm is and his legacy throughout the, you can say, Western circuit, Charm has a respected history amongst his peers. However, amongst those who you could say are at the elite level or those who would consider themselves gentlemen, they look at Charm as kind of sloppy, unprofessional, due to a lot of things, and I'm not here to put him on blast and things. I mean, those who know. Pimpin' Ken is another. Pimpin' Ken's timeline of events do not add up. And that's just because it was just a time of opportunity. Tariq Nasheed, another one. Timeline of events do not. Well, there's no timeline of events with Tariq Nasheed. Tariq Nasheed is a really good case study because Tariq Nasheed is a person who fooled the public completely. And Tariq Nasheed, if you just create a timeline for Tariq Nasheed on your own as a researcher, then you start to see similarities and patterns that we've seen in history, and I'll leave it at that. Similarly, as I've already mentioned, Snooki. If you map him on a timeline, it's the same thing. But again, you have to understand the times. What were you doing in 1995, 1996, 1997, 1998, 1999? And I'm not talking, don't choose one of those years. Through those years, all the way to 2000, 95 to 2000. This is the key period of time. Because if you remember 1995, 1994, 1993, 1992, what did we have for pimping on a mass scale? Documentaries, magazines. Was there Feds magazine? Was there all these Don Diva, all those magazines? Did they exist? Which were the places where some of the DVDs were advertised? those all those DVDs, the DVD craze of, you know, in the Best Buy stores, Tower Records, all them type of stores. What was it like in 1992, 91? See, you have to understand. That's why if you stay in the game, stay in the race, everything will always fall right in place. And so for a person who's been around, and that's why I appreciate the way Max spoke to Sinful. He spoke to him in the voice of an OG. And see, if you're an OG and you lived through all that, you can not buy, as even Max said, I'm not buying it. Because it's there's nothing to buy. The only people who can buy what Sinful is selling is those who are game struck, and that's the terminology used by a small circle of people, but I think you'll figure out what I mean by that. Only people gonna listen to and buy into it are people who don't know anything about the game, whether they participated or not. Those who participated or not but know about the game can see right through Sinful. And this is why Sinful is not going. I mean, that's why you just have to pay attention now how Sinful's behavior is when he has guests on his show. Now, the thing about Sinful is what screws up the timeline is because of the YouTube purge, and then when Sinful deleted some of his videos. The more he talks, just like Max pointed out, the more obvious it is that even though he talks like he knows a lot and that he's enlightened, he's really not. And this is why Rosebud pressed him, because he sensed that in Sinful. And like I said, had Sinful had the gentleman's response, he would have grown in that moment. But like this generation of cut and paste, of Google, of social media, this generation that was born into this pimp, mass pimp agenda, pimp my ride, all that influence is what inspired Sinful to be who he is today. Why? For a lot of different reasons I don't want to psychoanalyze, but he's told us enough about his life that there are some fair assumptions. No father in his life. He's been told by women, according to him, the women in his life, the women in his church, that he's gifted and special. So that alone, we can look at the persona of Sinful the P, and we can understand that Sinful the P is a persona, because behind that persona is, I forgot his name, oh man, Gilmore, Brandon Gilmore, if I'm not mistaken. That's the young man. That's the real young man. Sinful the P is a persona. Okay. It's a self-entitled, self-grandizing, self-appointed, self-named, and he put himself on a soapbox. Whereas you look at the people who earned their reputation, You see, without social media, who's gonna know it's sinful? Nobody. Who's gonna know it's sinful without social media? But without social media, we know of Rosebud. We know of Gangsta Brown. We know of Shantae. We know of all of the historical gentlemen of leisure. Some even infamously, maybe they did something wrong or they have some, with them, but we know them from the streets. You're not gonna know Sinful from the streets. He's not a street legend. He's not a Blade Runner. Even though we don't know all of his business, we don't have to know all of his business. He's from social media generation, where it's by nature for them to tell all their business. It's by nature for them to talk too much. It's by nature for them to show their business, even business that no one should ever see. They show it anyway. And they would clown me for not showing my face and for not allowing my real voice. Because it's not about me. It's about the information. I don't need you to be mesmerized by my speaking voice if it's mesmerizable to you. I don't need you to be mesmerized by the scenery or by my physical appearance. I want you to focus on the information, and that's why I bring visuals most of the time I bring visuals, so that while you're listening, either you could put this in your car, you could put this and not listen and not look at anything and just have a nice soundtrack with audio. And I know it's not the best quality because it's just a hobby, but the point of it is it's not about me. With Sinful, it's about Sinful. Sinful needs an audience. Sinful needs outside approval, because he doesn't have that inside of him. And as much as he talks about emotionally responding versus intellectually responding, just from your vantage point, isn't it obvious that Sinful responds emotionally? Isn't it obvious that Sinful's persona that he presents to the world is of sensitivity and emotional? Yes, he tries to talk in a monotone voice, but you have to look at the subtleties of his body language. Yes, the subtleties of his body language. Go to the library and get you a book on body language. Go get you a book on body language. You can maybe understand what I'm saying from an academic point of view. I can see it from the street point of view and an academic point of view. You see, if you just look at Sinful's timeline, he's never been, even by his own criteria, a real pimp. Not today, and not when he got locked up or before. So the question is, when were you a pimp ever? And by us saying this, it's not that we are glorifying pimping and hoeing. Pimping and hoeing is a segment of society. It's a dark lifestyle. And any honest man or woman who's been in that lifestyle, even at the successful, at the highest level, even if they don't want to stop, they'll tell you it's dark. Okay? So we're not here to glorify, but since he put himself on the soapbox as that, and those of us who know just from living life that this guy is not real. This isn't real. This is Matrix, digital world, mind fuck. So when you can fake it till you make it. You can pretend until you fit in. Because that's what the effect and the opportunity of social media has done. It has allowed anyone to get online and say and do whatever the fuck they want to do. Period. And with that said, knowing that Google is government, Google is YouTube, okay? Twitter is, you can say, privatized government. So is Facebook. And this is where these people dwell, which means a percentage of the chatters, a percentage of the likes, a percentage of the comments, a percentage of the YouTubers are government shills. If they're not directly with the government, they are privatized through organizations, NGOs, and or private companies. Okay? And you can Google all of that. That's all. I mean, yeah, you say, why would you Google? Okay, use DuckDuckGo. Use something else. Use any search engine. Okay? Go to the library and look it up. Okay, how about that? Go to the damn library. Okay? Most of what you are experiencing in terms of media and social media is shaped and designed exactly for your viewing pleasures. For your viewing pleasure. Okay? It's entertainment. It's not real. Okay? And if we were to just really break down the things that Sinful has told us about who he is and what he does, according to his own criteria of what a real pimp is, he's never been one. He's never been one. All you have to do, see, like I said, like Max said, he said, what did he say? He was the ghost dog, or he's the ghost. He sees everything. Yeah, I fucks with you, Max, because I'm the same way. I've seen it all. You see, and that's what they count on. They count on people not listening to everything. Okay, not watching everything. But some of us really do this. And some of us, we want to understand the world for what it really is. Some of us have no agenda behind us. We just want to live in the world in peace. And some of us take offense to false representation because you're deceiving the public. But you see, A real pimp, if you're gonna hate him or love him, it's because he's real. Now, when you start to get people like Snooki, now remember, who was the first YouTuber? Now, I knew already, okay, because I was following Snoopy. The Snoopy story, see, I don't want to get into Snoopy. I can do a whole series on Snooki, okay? I can do a series on Snooki dating back to maybe 2 or 3 years before he even got arrested. And to the suckers, okay, you know a sucker's gonna say, oh, this nigga's a snitch. No. Don't, when you listen to anything I say, just understand, I'm not on that side of the fence. The snitch, the informant. I'm on the side of the fence that's underground, that exposes those people, okay? Behind the scenes, people pay good money for a FOIA document. It's just that sometimes it's not my job to tell. And I said that a long time. When the Kiko and G-Gov and all that fiasco, hey man, FOIA will shut all that down. You pimps, you know, you pimps that's on the internet that was dealing with that Kiko thing, where's your lawyers at, man? Y'all could have easily exposed Kiko if that's what you wanted to do. A good lawyer, like I said, good lawyer, that's the key word, because a good lawyer got good connections, would have easily unraveled that guy. That's simple, that's easy. And so that just tells me about the level of intellect, or maybe it's something else. Well, like I say, you know, it's not for me to tell. But you guys that's on this internet, and if you're connected to certain entities, what doesn't come out in the wash, it always comes out in the rinse. And that's what you need to know. When you make a deal with the devil, they always come back to cash that motherfucking check. You see, if you do the study, the historical study, particularly with black men in America working as informants and agents, well, what does history say? How do those situations usually work out? Check always gets cashed. Just understand that. And we ain't in that line. We're in an information game. Okay? Information game. Okay? And we're on the other side of the information game. We don't provide information for law enforcement or any type of government entity, anything like that. We're not associated with nothing like that. That's why it's underground. You know how the movies used to fantasize about the drop squads and shit like that? Well, I'm not part of no drop squad or nothing like that. No. But I will tell you, put it like this. There are several underground research teams all over the world for good, and all over America, that have nothing to do with me and what I do and what my people do. Okay, that's just, it is what it is. You're free to believe what you want to believe, because Life isn't guaranteed to anyone. My job is to provide information. I try to provide it as raw and sincere as possible. And I apologize for not being able to upload videos as often as, because I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not into that. I have so much information, I don't have enough time to give it to you. I don't have time to sit and talk and record this. So that's why I don't do it as often. Money's not a motivation. Maybe if I knew people were listening and taking heed, maybe that would be more motivation. But the view count is pretty small, so I think at the rate that I put up videos is quite enough. Even though for this particular project of even doing the YouTube, I'm way backed up. As I told you, I think it might be a Sinful video that I didn't upload, but yeah, I'm backed up all the way from the year just before the election. You know, if I was a serious YouTuber, I would have easily been able to tell people that there's no way that Hillary Clinton's gonna win. I could have easily said that well before the election. It's very obvious. That doesn't make me special. It's not that I'm special. I'm not special. I just put in the work. And also, I have the trained eye that, first of all, I don't watch Fox News or anything like that. There's a way to get information. I see, because I studied how that game works. All I need to do is see the articles, the headlines. I don't need to watch it how it's presented on television when you just grab your remote and turn on CNN. That's something that even if he does it well, it's a persona. It's fake. To me, it's fake. Okay.